let me access the live video content on my phone. So because I set it up to go live on a webcam, and so it's all skew-iffy. So I'm here live. Hopefully you will find me. Hopefully you get a notification and you'll find me. I don't know how to share this video from here, because I don't usually do it live on my, let's see, share to Facebook. Copy the link. Let's go there. And then hi, Leslie. Leslie, would you do me a favour? Would you be able to share into Mojo to say I'm here? Because it's not letting me go live in my in my planned video. So the link won't work to this video. So if people press it, it's just not going to work. So I'm going to try and go in here, find me and share. Good morning, Marjorie. Thank you for persevering. I don't know what's happening. It keeps saying my camera's in use, and it's flashing at me. It just won't let me go live. So even though I've tried restarting. So anyway, I'm here and some of you have found me. So that's good. Good morning, Tony. Good morning, Marjorie. Good morning, Leslie. Thank you for persevering. I have got a lovely demo for you today. So hopefully it's worth it. So is this no, this is YouTube. I'm still on YouTube. I could have potentially gone live in Facebook, but then I wouldn't be able to use the camera to do a demo. So I figure hopefully here we can do a demo still. Who knows? But I'm pretty sure I can flip my camera and put it down. So it might actually be a better idea. It's just that the phone is upright and I'm not sure how that works on YouTube. I have no idea. But we'll have a go. Hi, Barbara. I'm very sorry about the delays. What time is it? How long did that take us? Me. 16 minutes. That's not too bad. 2 restarts, several faffs, a few changes of camera, lots of applications closed. Not too bad. Anyway, happy Monday. This is supposed to boost your mojo today. So and get your festive the festive mood flowing. So I've got my festive jumper on, I've got festive earrings on, and I've got a festive tutorial for you. Hello, Kit Kat. Hi, Francis. Oh, anyway, technical stuff out the way. That's good. Let's forget about it now. Let's forget about it and just have a nice Monday. It's really dark today. I know the darkest day of the year is on the 21st, but today is so dark. So dark. I had to put the lights on this morning to go out to take the dog out because I couldn't even see in the drive. That was at like nearly 8 o'clock. So really dark today. So hopefully it's not going to get any darker. It's supposed to get darker and darker until the 21st and then lighter and lighter, but I don't want it any darker than today. It's miserable. And I got absolutely soaking wet walking the dog because she doesn't mind going out in the rain. In fact, you know, it's a necessity for her. So she has to go out and she won't let you procrastinate. So I did. I tried. I thought I'll do the washing up first. And then I'll tidy the kitchen and I'll hoover the living room and then I'll take her out. And then by then it might have stopped, but it just didn't. So in the end, I just had to do it. Yeah, it's raining. It is raining where you are as well, Tony. I think it's all over the country, isn't it? But it's so we've got so many floods around here. Like the local town just down, well, yeah, small town, Stamford Bridge. I don't know if it's a town or a village actually. Village, I think it's a village. Stamford Bridge. That's really flooded and underwater in all the car parks. Where loads of flooding in York. Our postmen are having a difficult time getting back to their depots because the floods. I felt like that was getting closer and closer to me then. I don't quite know how that was happening. Anyway, so what else have you been up to? You've finished all your Christmas shopping? Are you done? I'm going to finish mine today, hopefully. I'm off to a little town called Driffield this afternoon. We got Chris's mum, Jane, is here. She's been here for a few days. She came for the pop-up shop, which was really, really successful. I did do a little live in Mojo, so hopefully you got to see what that was looking like. It was very busy. and it was very successful for us. So that was really good. And for my brother, it was really good for him too. So Ben's work is now being admired and adorning the walls and tables of Bugthorpe, which is exciting. So yeah, so I'm taking Chris's mum home today. She'll be back obviously for Christmas. So yeah, we got a busy week. Nope, I have a pile to wrap and still need some for some of the grandkids. Yeah, I've got who have I got to buy for still? I still got to do my brother's 2 boys. No, 1 boy. And Poppy, the little girl, the littlest. Got my littlest niece and one of my nephews. So it's difficult to buy for a 13-year-old boy. But he's off skiing in January, so that makes it a bit easier. I got a theme to work with. And I've only got a bit of wrapping to do. I've done lots of wrapping. So that's okay. What else? Who else have I got to get? Something little for my mum to open. I won't tell you what else she's got because she's probably in watching in the background. Good morning, Linda. How are you? Who else have I got to get for? I need to get something little for Chris. We said we weren't buying presents for each other this year, but I know he bought me one because somebody accidentally delivered it to the shop, and I knew it was for me because Chris was all like all a flutter because it was because I'd received the parcel. Is this camera slowly moving, or am I going mad? I feel like it's moving. Yes. So what else? Oh, I'm off to Gloucester on the weekend to see all my family. So I'm really excited about that. I'm off on Saturday afternoon. Hopefully we'll get away in a reasonable time and get there at a reasonable hour, staying with my mum. And then there's a sort of, a family Christmas session. So a little fake Christmas at my mum's house in the afternoon. Poor mum, I don't know where she's going to fit all 20 of us because and hopefully it's not raining so we can sort of spill outside if we need to get some air. And our giant dog Willow will also be there tearing up the floor, I'm sure, and getting under everybody's feet. So it's going to be fun. But that's what Christmas is about, isn't it? Falling over each other, scrabbling in, fighting for seats, stealing all the chocolates. Good morning, Mary. How are you? Nice to see you. I'm sorry. I know you were in the original live. I just couldn't get it going, and there's no way of me posting in there now because I'm live here, so I can't go and do anything on that video. So I'm a bit stuck. But hopefully you'll all find me, and then I can share the video if not anyway once it's done. So what else? Anybody else got any exciting plans this week? I tell you what, it was so lovely. Do you know when you see people out of context? I said this in my live, the impromptu live I did on Thursday evening, but I was so surprised to see Sue and Steve come into the shop, and because there's so many people who I recognise their faces, don't know their names yet here in Bugthorpe, because people come in and they say hello and they always know your name because we're the only names to remember. So they know our names and say hello Gemma, hello Chris. And sometimes I think, which ones, who are these again, where do they live, where do they hail from, and trying to get little snippets of information so that I can sort of remember and have a personal service, you know what I mean. And that is moving, it is. And so I was talking to somebody in the shop, and then this couple had walked in and they were looking around, and I recognized them, so I went, but that is pretty much everybody that comes in at the moment. There's a few that come in daily that I really know, but some come in every few weeks, and and I'd sort of acknowledged that some people had come in, said hi, I was talking to another customer, and then when I went over to speak to them, and I was like, when I'd finished dealing with the customer, I went over and I was looking at them and thinking, I know these guys, and then it suddenly dawned on me. I saw Sue's necklace and I thought, That's from one of my workshops. And then suddenly the penny dropped. I was like, oh my God, hello. I've only just realised. So yeah, that was really lovely surprise. Yeah, and it's made me remember our lovely workshops and Mojo Fest, and oh, it's made me want to do it again. So Tony says, I have my oldest for Christmas. Then he's rented a house for the 28th, so all the family can come round all together, because 7 children, grandchildren, and the kids' partners won't fit in mine. That's the problem, isn't it? You have to get bigger and bigger houses. The village hall in our village has been rented for Christmas by a Romanian family that live just a few, the next town, Moulton. They live there, and they've rented the village hall to have a big family Christmas dinner. I mean, why not? It's a great idea. If all of my lot one day all came up for Christmas, which would be amazing, I think that's what we'd do. So that's exciting. Leslie, I'm trying to chill this week. Been so busy. Going to write my cards later. I'm so behind. If I get time, going to have a go at making your tree. Yeah, I know what you mean, Leslie. This is the first week I've got a bit of free time now. So I've got no workshops now until after Christmas. In fact, I haven't even scheduled any in. Chalmers is on the lowdown for until after the new year. All my makes are done, really. I've got a few prezzies to finish, but yeah, pretty much nice and quiet, which means it's nice. I can give Chris a bit more of a break in the shop, so I can take over in the shop a bit more, and Chris can get out in the garden in this weather, which isn't fun for him, is it? But you know, it's still got to be done, and he enjoys it. So yeah, so it's nice to have a bit of chill, but also you suddenly realise, oh my goodness, it's only 10 days till Christmas. And we haven't wrote any cards yet either. And we're in a post office. We've got no excuse. No excuse not to get the cards to people on time. So today we're frantically packing hampers and writing cards. Well, Chris is packing hampers and writing cards to post, because it's the last posting day for second class tomorrow. Oh, that's why it's moving, because I haven't tightened it. There we go. It'll stop moving towards me. It's quite creepy. My face just keeps getting closer to me. Yeah, it'll be nice to make the tree though. I saw Mary's tree, looks amazing, and I love the idea with the tea light in. That was great. Whose idea was that? You did mention Mary, but it was really, really great idea. Can I mention about, yes, yeah, I'm on it. Mary, do try the tree, Leslie. I've already had an order for next year. Oh, that's nice. Oh, that's good. That's good. I've got these little earrings that I keep getting orders for. I've got one packed up here ready. These little Christmas wreath earrings. Just people just go, oh, I like those. Can I have those? And I say, I can't sell them yet because they're for a workshop. I need them as examples. But now I've got several people want a pair, so I'm going to have to whip up a few more actually. Yeah, so Leslie's mentioned Abby's funeral. So I'm pretty sure everybody in here knows Abby, Abby Marsden. She's been a mojo since the beginning, a mojoer since the beginning, and you know, very active in this group. And many of you know Abby because of events and things that we've done online or things we've done in person. And very sadly, a few weeks ago, Abby suddenly passed away. Her funeral is on the 22nd of this month, which is next Tuesday, and the link, because obviously there's many people that would like to go and pay their respects but can't for one reason or another. It's different side of the country, it's very close to Christmas, people have other commitments, but if you would like to attend Abby's funeral and pay your respects, then there is a link on Mojo that Justin Marsden has put in to be able to watch Abby's funeral and sort of be there virtually then. So if anybody wants to do that, then please do. I shall be there. I'm thinking that after, I haven't a time in because I'm not sure, but after I think we'll be live in Crow's Mojo if anybody wants to come in and share some stories. And I was thinking maybe I will do some sort of demonstration that was Abby-esque, or share some of, although she'd be very, very annoyed with me for doing a leather tutorial now that she's not here to do it with us. But yeah, so let me work a bit more on that plan, Leslie, because Chris has had to move his work around because he works on Tuesday so that I can do that. So I haven't actually put a time in yet. But yeah, that is the plan, to do something almost like a virtual wake in Mojo for Abby. So we'll do that Monday. It's the 22nd, isn't it? That is Monday. Why have I got Tuesday? I've told Chris it's Tuesday. He's moved all his work. 22nd is a Monday. It is, because it's the 15th today, isn't it? Monday. Let me, gosh, what have I done? I'm trying to look on my calendar here. I'll put a post in later today. I'll share a post with a plan. Okay. But yeah, it would be nice if you know, if you want to, we might as well all be together, mightn't we? On Monday after the funeral. Okay, right. Let's brilliant. Oh, good, Isabel. You want to be in there too? I mean, maybe it's something we do on Zoom so that we can actually all see each other. That would be nice, wouldn't it? I do that. I do a Zoom link. Then we can actually talk and see each other's faces and share things together. Let's do that. I'll put it in Mojo, an open Zoom link, and anybody then can join in. Okay, let me deal with that as soon as we finish here today. I will make myself a note on this page. I hope Chris didn't move his work to Monday. I have to move it again. He wouldn't have, because he knows I work Monday. So okay, fine, Monday. Right then. So today, instead of mini mystery make, we are going to do some Christmas antlers. Now, I used to have a pair of Christmas antlers that I made with Swarovski crystal and wire, and I have no idea where they've gone. I should imagine they've been pinched because they were admired by many people. So I thought maybe we'll make some Christmas antlers today. You don't have to make antlers, of course. I'm going to go through that process with you because the skills and the symmetry and all that sort of thing that I want to go through with you is covered within this pattern. So whatever it is you want to make for your head, so like dealy boppers, or I don't know what else could you have on your head, antler-esque, or ears, maybe ears, or trying to think of other things. Maybe you want baubles or anything. The symmetry side of it is covered in this tutorial, so you can get two things the same for either side of your headband. So materials you will need. Hi, Carrie. Materials you need are a headband. You can use one that you've got lying around, or you might have a spare base like this. So I've just got a plain gold headband. I'm going to use aluminium wire because you don't want too much weight on your head, and you were going to hammer it so it gives it a nice structure anyway. Good morning, Jane. Christmas trees. Christmas trees, yes. Yes, it could be Christmas trees. Quite right. Yeah. So band, you'll need some aluminium wire. I'm going all gold today, and then you'll want some sort of sparkly beads. Swarovskis work really well because they have got the best twinkle, but and AB coated beads are really nice, but I've just got a selection of sparkly gold and clear beads. I'll just put them in ad hoc after, and we'll go through that as well. Okay, so I'm going to see how this works. You can make them to wear on your store next Christmas. Yeah, or a Christmas dinner. You could make a load for everybody around the table. So like instead of a place setting, you can have a silly headband. Just in time, Jane. Yes, good morning. I was late this morning because the stream I set up didn't work. Blah, blah, blah. Anyway, we're over it. We're going to do a tutorial now. So I'm going to try and move my camera down and see if this flips. You know, this might actually work better than doing it on the PC, you know. There we go. Try that. How's that? Everybody see that okay? Give me a little thumbs up, like, love, whatever, if it's working. Let me go down slightly. There you go. Okay, so what you can see here is I've drawn myself a template to work from. Now, these might actually be a little bit big, so I might just take off the top of that one. Let me just, I think I might just take that one off, make that one a bit shorter. Yeah, so that's what I'm going to do. And, you know, they don't have to be sort of perfect, but you can, you know, play with the shapes, make just, basically it's just like a branch or a twig, isn't it, really? So just made a template, and then I've got some aluminium wire. Now we'll need quite a lot of wire. So what we need is 2 lots of wire, 1 length of wire that will go all the way up like this and down like that, but twice, but we want to do it in 1 length. So what we do is take a really long length of wire and then fold it in half so that we're working with both wires at the same time. So will this be enough? I might just cut another one just to be sure. So what we're looking at here is this length. Ooh, what is that? So if we go 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, let's say 60 to 70 centimeters for that. We need to times that by 2, so 140. So we're on about 1.5 meters because we want a gap as well. So about 1.5 meters of wire, okay? If you want to, you can measure this so that you're not doing any wastage, but I'm sure you can use extra bits and bobs if you need to extra the offcuts or something else. So I'm just going to release. It's very annoying when your wire decides to come out of the middle of the reel and not from the edges, and you can't just unravel it. Luckily, aluminium is very forgiving. So yeah, making things like headwear like this, you know, fancy headwear, just novelty headwear then, is really good with aluminium wire because it's lightweight. You don't want anything too heavy weighing down on your head, and you also don't want, if it's too heavy, it will make the headband sort of slip forward or backwards. Okay, so I've got plenty of wire now. So once you've cut your great big long length of wire, we want to fold it in half, not with a sharp bend, just literally a loop. Bring the 2 ends together like that, and then just run your hands down, make a loop like that. So, and then this loop here has got to be the length of the gap between the 2 areas on your headband that you want. So if I want an antler here and an antler here, this section here has got to be that long. Okay, so we want about like that. Okay, so that's going to give us that in between our 2 antlers, and then we start working with it from the inside of the design to the out. Okay, so both wires together. My antlers are going to start here, so I'm just going to get my pliers, and you want a combination of round nose and flat nose pliers to help you create the design. So if you want to work to a template, you can. This is, you know, this keep you on track, but if you want to do it freehand, you can. So basically now I'm going to lay my wire down on my template, and I'm just going to trace it. Now when you get to the sharp point, so I'm using both wires together, that means I'm going to get that symmetry I'm after. So trace the outline. So here where I've got a sharper bend, I might want to use some pliers, maybe my bail makers. I'm very sorry, it's difficult keeping this under the camera with these great long tails of wire. You can hear it scraping along everything. Okay. So there, and maybe we want to sharpen that up a bit. Make it a bit pointier. You can always refine and do the, finer details after, but let's get this basic shape done. So there, and then next bend is here. Oh, this is very tricky. Who thought this was a good idea? Like this. And that's where the bend is. And then there. You see where we're going with this, can't you? Let me put the tip on there. So just, aluminium is quite soft, so it's not difficult to do this. It's just fiddly. It's just awkward because of how long the wires are to start with. But the trick is just try and keep those wires together so that we end up with a nice symmetrical pair of antlers rather than, odd ones. Mind you, it doesn't matter, you can have odd ones if you want. So pliers in and move. We don't want the wires to twist. That's the other important thing, is you want to keep the wires, one on top of the other. Don't let them cross over, because then it'll be very difficult to prise them apart. And we want to prise them apart as easy as possible so that we keep the symmetry. That's the point in doing the both together, is that we get this lovely symmetry in our antlers. So some of the manipulation I'm just doing with my fingers, and some I'm using my pliers. And then when I've done this last one, I can lay it down. Like this. And I knew I'd taken off far too much wire, but there we go. Okay, so I have got my general antler shape like that. I think this one I've probably gone a bit far, but let's see. Yeah, I'm going to straighten this one up. I'm going to take this one up a little bit because I don't want these two to join here. It just doesn't look quite right for me. So to straighten it out, it's nice and simple. Straighten it out as much as you can with your fingers. And then just bite down on the bend with your pliers to straighten it out. Now, I can't actually see what I'm doing because it's under the camera. But don't worry about it being untidy, because we will be hammering this anyway. 1, to give it some, 2, to give it a bit of texture. And that will hide a multitude of sins. If you've had to, manipulate the frame a few times to get it right, then don't worry, because hammering it will bring everything back into line nicely. Right then. Let's see what that's looking like. I think that's looking a bit better. There we go. Roughly, we have some antlers. It's not quite like my template, but that doesn't matter too much. I'll bring this back down now to change that. You know what? That's better. Right. There we go. So there's our antlers. Right, let me get this out of the way. Feel free to shout out new ideas as well for what other sort of motifs you could do. So we've had Christmas trees, baubles, maybe holly leaves. This is a good way to get even holly leaves. Okay, so I'm going to chop off that so it's not in my way. There we go. All right, so now we've got our antlers, and then we can, at this stage, if you want to do any refining, so make the ends a bit pointier, do it while it's still together. So if I make some of these ends a bit pointier, and I'm doing that by taking my pliers in and just pinching the curves to make them less rounded and more angular. So bite down on those curves to make them pointier. Those ones are okay. Let's get in this one. There we go. And that's about right, I think. This one's come apart a bit. Okay, so there's our basic frame. And then we're just going to open it up like a book. So go in between and open here where we made that bend, like that. And then we've got two antlers. This bit gets attached to our headband. So that bit in the middle gets attached to our headband. So we'll just leave that alone until we come to attaching everything in. But there's our matching set of antlers. Okay, so you can see, because we've been manipulating them a lot, they are a bit higgledy-piggledy. So now we are going to hammer them so that they hold their shape. So I'm going to take my steel block and a hammer. Let me just amend this one a little bit. Okay, get my steel block and my hammer. And first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to give it all a bit of a tap with the acrylic end. Okay, and that's just to keep everything in place before I start hammering. So tap the whole thing down to start the work hardening process and to hold the shape while we before we go on to the next stage. Rotate device. You still there, everybody? I'm saying I've got to rotate the device. Oh, there we go. I think the hammering has confused it. There we go. Okay, so it's a bit stiffer. It's got its shape. It's definitely feeling like it's getting there. Okay, so now we can put a bit of texture on and firm it up a bit more. So just again, make sure that you're still sort of even on both sides, and then we can come in with our rounded end of a hammer. The whammer's lovely, but it doesn't have a very small, it's more of a curve. So if you want to get texture in there, use a smaller hammer with a smaller ball end, and then you will get a nicer, like, dappled texture. So I'm going to go all over. And at this point, we've decided that this is the front, because the back won't have this texture on. Because the back is onto the metal plate. And so if we hammered on the other side, all that would happen is we'd lose the texture that we've just put in on this side. So only hammer on the one side and commit to that being your front then, or your side with the detail. Okay, and as you're doing this, you can see it's starting to curve. So every now and again, just manipulate it back round so that it's flat. And if need be, if it gets really out of control, go back with your mallet, your acrylic mallet, and flatten it back down again. Oh, wrong end. Just giving it a bit of a texture all over. Remember, aluminium is really soft, so you don't need to do this too hard, otherwise you will, hammer straight through it. So can you see that lovely texture we've got on there? It's giving it a bit of sparkle, as opposed to that side. It looks totally different, doesn't it? Really finishes it off. Okay, so let's do the same here. It's going to be a bit quicker with this one. Can manipulate it flat. And I'm breaking my rule here of not putting my fingers on the block, but it's difficult to hold it off the block with it being such a large piece. So I'm able to keep my fingers far enough away from the hammer. And because I'm not hammering really hard, because it's just aluminium, I'm not in so much danger of hammering my fingers and hurting them. All the way round. There we go. We have two lovely sparkly antlers. Right then, if I bring this up a bit, you can probably see a bit more. All my bits and bobs underneath the desk that I just shoved off the mat. So many bits ready to work on. Right, so now it's time to add this to our headband. So this bit here that's a bit wobbly in the middle, let's try and straighten that out, get any kinks out of that, so that we've got a nice sort of flat edge to put onto our band. So I'm just running that through my nylon pliers, and the band is slightly curved, so you can pop a bit of a curve in there if you want to with your thumb to make it marry up. And then we get our headband. Mine seems to have left me. Here it is. Either way. There's our headband, like that. So it's now sitting on the headband. And then we can use these little leftovers. So we should have some leftover tails to now wrap around the band. And we're also going to wrap around that centre bit too to keep it stable. So I would recommend working from the back. So having the antlers at the back of the headband like that. And then just before we do anything, we're just going to mark the wire. So I'm going to take a pen. And I'm just going to pop a little mark on the wire underneath the headband. Okay. And the reason we're doing this is because we're going to bend it with pliers. And that's so that when we pull it around the headband, it doesn't pull the whole antler. Okay. So if we get that bend started first, so pop your pliers next to that line that you've created and make your first bend upwards like that. And the same on this side. So put the pliers on, bend upwards like so. And then we put our headband back on. Oh, I must have marked that in the wrong place. I must have slipped before I did it. So I'm just going to do that again. And this time I'm going to mark, just going to do another one where we want it to bend. further down there. And there. Right, now what should happen is the bend should sit against the headband and that curve should be sat on the band like that. Okay, so now we've got that in place. We can then take the wire and wrap it around the headband. Now, you might want to use your pliers for this because the first one, you're just going to go straight through in between your antlers like that. So that sort of secures that one. Okay, let's go in between and then back around. And this time it's going to go over the top of that section that's onto the band. Okay, so up over. And this is aluminium and it is soft, but it still can be tough when you're working with short lengths like this. So you may want to use your pliers to help you get that around. Okay, there's that side. And then we'll do the same on this side. So the first one, take up and round and in between your antlers, in the gap between them, like that. So that's that one in, and then bring it to wrap in this frame here around like that. Okay, and that is your antlers made. Don't they look lovely? Can you see those? Really cute. Right, so now we want to get rid of all the ends and bits that might catch and hurt us. So just chop off the excess like this. Okay, and then use your pliers to just pinch those ends in nice and firmly so that they're not going to be scratchy. All right, so now we have a pair of antlers on a headband. Christmas puddings, that's a good idea. Holly with some red garnet berries. Christmas puddings, that's a really nice idea. That is a nice idea. Okay, so now it's a case of embellishing. So obviously you've got this section here. Now it's going to be on your head, so chances are you might not see that because of your hair, but you could decorate this with some holly or with some other Christmas decorations like some little berry picks or something like that in here, or you could just ram it full of crystals, which is probably what I'm going to do. But with the antlers, you can leave them like that. They actually look really quite pretty and quite classy, just like that. Or you can fill them now with crystals and sparkly bits. So if I get a load of sparkly bits out here, so I've got some clear crystals. When I did this before, I used the Swarovski that were like a champagne colour, and it was so pretty. It really did look lovely, but I don't have any of those left. And I've only got clear crystals from all the projects I've been doing recently. So we'll just see what it looks like. So for this, I'm going to use some 0.4mm copper wire. So gold-plated copper wire. It's a bit stronger than aluminium. If you go down to 0.4 with aluminium, it's just so soft. It's really difficult to work with. So go with a 0.4 in copper, a copper core, and then plated with whatever color you like. And then you can fill this up with seed beads, any sparkly stuff. But basically, we're going to anchor this wire in somewhere around the base, maybe, or around the bottom of the antler, by wrapping it around a few times just to keep it in place. And remember, any ends are likely to sort of get, caught in your hair. So make sure they're really tucked in well, and, there's nothing sticking out to catch in your hair. So chopping the ends off. Okay, and then we got this wire here to then start going round and round the frame haphazardly. I'd say the more haphazardly, the better, because it will just sort of give you, it's just to give you a bit of sparkle all over, rather than trying to fill it with weaving or anything like that. I'm just going to add the odd sparkle in. So take the wire, thread a bead on, take the wire back across the frame, secure it round one side by wrapping round the frame. Just the once will do to get it anchored into place like that, and then add a bead. So you can do you know, just one bead, or you can do 2 or 3, but the idea is to build up a bit like a web, and just work up the frame in one, you know, doing it like this, and then work back down to do crisscross over where you've been. And it's good to have different size beads, because then you can, you know, fill the bigger gaps with larger beads and the smaller gaps with smaller ones. And it's easier then. So I've got that one there. What I'm going to try and do now is come up onto one of the little pokey outy bits on the antlers, like that. And then I can show you how you come back down across or down along. I got this absolutely bargain bundle of beads on Amazon. I think it was $8.99. It's got all of these different sizes of sparkly beads in. So I got different sizes and different shapes for different projects. It's ideal. They're only glass, but you know, when you're doing, you know, novelty things like this, you don't want to be using your best crystals, really. You can see I'm just going around the frame into here, randomly popping beads. Seed beads as well are nice for, you know, your smaller areas. You can use seed beads. The silver lined ones work really well because they give you that little bit of sparkle. Catch the light differently. Okay, another. Oh, that's a drop. We don't want that one. No. And then let's do one more of these. All right, and then you can come back down the frame, and as you come back down diagonally, the wires cross over and it gives you more of this mesh-like look, and that sort of gives it a bit more, it fills it a bit more. So you're using the wire and the beads to fill the spaces. So don't worry about getting them crisscrossed as you go up. Just work one direction up and then another direction down, and then if you need to add more, you can. So here, I don't think I need another bead there, but you might find you've got some gaps on your way back down that you want to fill with beads. I think I might put a little one in there. Just a little tiny one. Get one of my teeny ones. Oh, that fell off. I tell you what, at the moment I'm using so many of these little crystals, and they're so hard to find if you drop one, and I'm just finding them everywhere. And Chris, bless him, he doesn't know what's valuable and what's not, you know, so every time he finds one, he saves it, he puts it in little pots. He's like, I found this, is this important? I'm like, no, it's just a bit of glass, really. Don't worry about that one, thank you. He found a little chaton the other day, and he was like, oh, I was so worried it would come out of your engagement ring. I was like, no, that's fine. But he panicked me. He said, is this from your ring? And I panicked and I was like, no, oh gosh, no, it's fine. Okay, so there we go. So we're back to here. That one I don't think I need to wrap round because it's already covered. And then pop beads on, and then we're back to here again, and then we can carry on up there, and you'll just work up and down just like that all the way through the antlers. And you know, you don't actually need to fill them if you don't want to, because they look quite pretty without it. You know, it's really up to you. Go around. There you go, and that's it. That's how you do this. Let's put a bigger one there. Nice and simple, really. Takes a bit of time to fill the space, but it's worth it. They do look so pretty when they're done. There we go. All right, so I'm going to leave you with that. And let's turn you back up the other way. That's silly. There you go. So let's have a little try on. See if I've cracked it. Put you there. Yeah, they work, don't they? They look really sparkly. So once that's filled, obviously it'd be better. But there's my antlers. All you can see is a reflection of, which one can you see in the mirror? That one. Let's take that one off. There you go. Ta-da! Antlers. Who's going to have a go? Might have to give these a go this week. Yes, Leslie. Maybe you can do some cow horns, because you like your cows, don't you? Mind you, that it's not. Might not look quite so nice. It might end up looking a bit like devil horns, so you don't want to do that. You're going to have a go, Isabel. Very cute, says Isabel. Leslie says, John finds my drop wire, jump rings, beads, etc., and comes to me with treasure. Yeah, yeah. I think it's really upsetting as well when I look at, he gives it me and I look at it, I go, oh, don't worry about that, and I throw it in the bin. He's like, I've saved that all day. Right, let's see if I can get this tucked in there. That's it. You're going to have a go, Isabel. They're lovely, says Francis. Thanks, you're right. You might, Tony, you might have a go. Another good one, says Mary. The little battery light would be good on those. Yes, Jane. Do you know what? I was going to do that. You've reminded me. I was going to do that. Just weave the battery light through, and you don't really need to, because they're on wires, aren't they? In fact, that's what I'm going to do. I'm take these crystals off. Put some battery lights on. That's it. They're so beautiful. I may try to make one. Yeah, have a go. Linda's going to try. I'm going to have a go. So there's Jane. My Hoover is full of beads. Yeah, love them. Mark, Barbara, you love them. Oh, good. I'm glad you all like them. They are cute. These are quite big. I think the last ones I made were probably about half the size, but you know, why not? They're cute. Your granddaughters would love them. Yes, they are cheap as chips. Yeah, yeah. What the crystals, so cheap, aren't they? I had no idea, because I've only ever bought Swarovski. So, and some Czech glass crystals I've bought on strands before, and they're really reasonable, aren't they? They're great, says Sylve. And yes, it is a 2mm wire I was using with aluminium. You don't want to go any lower than that, really, because they will be a bit too flimsy, unless you're going to make mini ones, and then you can go a bit lower. Little light, error definite. I am doing that, and then I would take a photograph of them on with the lights on. I'll do a festive one in front of the Christmas tree, and then you can see it. Definitely, I've got loads of those little lights. Yeah, and they are cheap as chips, little lights as well. I don't know if you're talking about crystals or little lights. And I think I'm going to take the gold ones out. I don't like them. I like just the plain ones. So I'm going to take the gold ones out of there. So I'll be unraveling this, putting some more clear crystals and some lights in, and that's me sorted. That's my Christmas festive outfit sorted. Yes, they would. Your elderly friends would. Yeah, they would. And they're nice and light as well, so they're not uncomfortable. I mean, you could make smaller ones and put them on hair grips, could you? Or little combs instead, but band is nice because it doesn't slip. Doesn't slip off, does it? I'm taking this apart now. I'm going to do a different one. Yes, Sylvia, thank you. I did receive the parcel. They are absolutely perfect. And thank you for the orange and black ones as well. That was a bonus. Have they got a small battery pack? Yeah, let me show you the ones I've got. And then I can, the teeny tiny. I had them out ready, so they can't be far. I've actually got hundreds and hundreds of the left from the wedding because my sister bought me an absolute ton. I think she got them on Temu actually, because I've still got a bag full of them. But these have got little battery packs like that. I'm sure you can probably get smaller ones, and they're just lights on a wire. You can have them flashing or still, and because they're wire, you can literally just let's do it. Let's do one antler. See what it looks like. I'll just get that wire out of the way so I don't poke myself. Let's do it. This is exciting. Don't get overexcited when you unravel them though, because you can end up in a right pickle. But these are great. They look lovely in jars, just in jars. Just put them in a jam jar and they look like little fireflies. They're very pretty little lights. But you can get these cheap. In fact, I think if you want to get them on a high street, I'm pretty sure you can get them in Primark. They used to do them in there, and they used to be just sort of in with all the sort of makeup bags and all that sort of stuff. I don't know why, but that's where I've bought them in the past. But I suppose the trusty old Amazon would do. Right, so if I start at the top, just literally, because they're on wires, I just can twist them into place, wrap them round, get the lights evenly spaced. Ow! The wire's sharp. Beware. So I don't know why I'm doing this in the air, so that you can see that I'm what I'm doing. Just wrapping it round. Let's go up and down, and I get crisscrosses. Up and down. Yeah, because it's wire, it just stays put, which is awesome. This is the best thing. Who needs crystals when you can have LEDs? Oh, loving this. Thank you, Jane, for reminding me about the lights. Let's go there and then there. They've gone off. I'm gonna get them all wrapped on, and then they were broke. Yeah, you've got to be a bit strategic so that you get the lights to be in the right places, so they're not all on top of each other, but it's not that difficult. Oh, there's a light. They're back on there. Must have just pressed them in the wrong place. Nearly there, guys. Nearly there. Much quicker than putting crystals on. every now and again you might need to sort of thread through the frame or do some trickery to get them all to be in the right place. But mainly it's pretty simple. I'm concentrating, aren't I? Had some from Amazon and they worked out like 90p each. The battery pack was flatter. Okay, yes, you might be able to get a better shape battery pack than this one. This is a bit chunky, but I will probably put something in the center. You know how you see the deers and they've been ruffling around in the undergrowth and their antlers are covered in bits of foliage. I'll probably put some like foliage at the base of these. Right, round last few bits. There. And I'll probably use a cable tie to attach the battery pack like that and just sit it. You can sit it either just behind or sit it on top like that. No. Have I broken it? I think I've probably I've broken it by winding it round. Oh no, I probably just need to twiddle this a bit. Just not the wires out. I've done all that and then I've broken the lights. Damn. Oh, there we go. There we go. I hadn't broken them. Yeah, just be careful. Don't pull the wires too much. But how is that? Oh, yeah. Now we're talking. That's cool, isn't it? I mean, you could put some crystals on there as well, which would then really twinkly. But yeah, I'm in for that. Right, see you later, Tony. I'm glad you were with us. Had some just making Christmas presents for them now. They all like sparklers. Yeah, brill. Love it, says Jane. Yeah, it's really good, isn't it? I don't know, have they gone off? Yeah, maybe just be a little less heavy-handed and not try to do it so quickly. There. Really cool. Right, okay, I'm going to leave it there. I can't wait to see all the pictures of you guys wearing your antlers. So yeah, please make some. If it's not antlers, maybe holly. See all the different variations. See what. Every time I put it on my head, it goes off. What's happening? It's like my light up shoes that I had for the wedding. I had one worked and one didn't. So I had one light up foot. Anyway, I'll leave it there. You'll have better luck than me because you won't do it so quickly. Right, have a lovely week. I will post details for next Monday for Abby's funeral live link and for the sort of virtual wake that we'll have after, just getting together and sharing memories of doing things that Abby would have loved to do with us. So yeah, so look out for that. But in the meantime, everybody have a lovely week and try and stay warm and dry. And I will see you all very soon. Bye-bye.